Hey friends, so I saw a tweet that was asking, why haven't hasn't there been a country that allows citizenship to be more transactional? Well, that wasn't the question. The question was, some countries allow you to become a citizen by investing, like money, right, or investing resources. And what would happen if you take that further? And my response was, you can't take it too far because you offend the local population. And what I mean by that is that, it's like when you make citizenship something that you can buy, it's like making marriage into a financial contract, right? Or just a contract in general. And you could say that, well, marriage is technically an economic contract of sorts, right? But there is also all of these additional nuance that goes into it, and that's what some people might find it cool. Some people might like the idea of, if you make marriage explicitly a contract, that's easier to understand, it's more fair, there's less illegible confusion. So different people have different perspectives on this, but I think that those people are in the minority, the people who want things to be hyper legible. And most people, in my experience, would find the idea of an overly legible marital contract to be offensive in some way or demeaning in some way. And that got me to thinking, there's this quote attributed to some, I think Herodotus, some like old historian, talking about Xerxes, the Persian emperor, and he's asking about the Greeks, I think, and they were talking about like the Olympic Games, and they were saying he was asking, what do the people who win, what do they get, what is their reward, what kind of riches and money and whatever, and the answer was, they get an olive wreath, right, like a laurel wreath. And he was like, oh no, what kind of men are we fighting? It's not men who compete for money, but for riches, not for riches, but for glory, right, for virtue. And I find that very compelling, which reminds me of another quote in a book called Medici Money that says, there's an anxiety that's as old as Achilles, which is that we all love what money can do. We love what money can allow us to buy. But if we overly get into the cult of money, right, of financial transactions, then there's this anxiety that crops up, which is like, what on earth is beyond purchase, right? Does everything have a price? Can everything be bought? Like, then are we all just kind of economic digits and subject to this merciless corporate money demon beast structure? And that brings me to thinking about how I think, so I don't know if this is true for everyone, but what I care about and what I think the people I love care about is this idea that there should be something in your life that you value more than money. Now, I don't mean to be dismissive of practical reality, and economic anxieties are real. People have to pay the bills, people have to put food on the table, keep a roof over their heads. But life cannot simply be about the accumulation of money, right? Money is means to an end, and we get to define what the end is. And different people have different ideas about what is a honorable, good, righteous end, right? And the ways people frame this has changed in different cultures and over the years and whatnot. Some people say for the glory of God, right? Some people say to honor our ancestors, right? Or to gain entry to Valhalla, right? Like this idea of the pursuit of glory, right? And ambition. And there are downsides to that as well. You could say that the pursuit of glory can be blinding, right? And that people can end up doing terrible things in the pursuit of glory, and also in the name of God, right? For religion, you have holy wars and crusades and terrible things that happen. But I am not convinced that replacing you know, all of those things with a secular monetary, it's there's a lot of stuff that gets entangled, and I don't think I can resolve this in this video in a few minutes. But I just wanted to kind of think out loud for a bit about what is it that we value, right? And for me, like with my book Friendly Ambitious Nerd, I put forth this idea of a vibe that I believe is beautiful, right? The library ethos, which is a blog post that I have. And it's just this idea that, to cherish the spirit of learning and inquiry and discovery. Like, these are beautiful ideals to strive for. And yeah, I feel that we should be tolerant, diverse, non-violent, all of those things. And yeah, I just wanted to put that out because I feel like some people haven't even really thought about it very much. And if you don't think about things very much, you get swept up in whatever is the default setting. And maybe once upon a time, the default setting was God, right? And now, there are all these messages that you receive from the broader world about money, fame. I think it might have been Joseph Campbell or someone else who said that if you want to see what a society worships, just look at its largest buildings. And in some places it was temples and cathedrals. In some places it's banks or just corporate skyscrapers. Which I don't mean to say that these are bad things, right? Like, they have allowed tremendous, like, reduction in poverty, blah blah. I don't really want to get into the nitty-gritty of those specifics of, like, is capitalism good or bad, or blah blah blah. But really, I'm looking at more of a personal evaluation for individuals about what your values are and, like, how that guides your decisions, right? So because of my values, I have spent the past few years not optimizing in the short run to maximize my earnings, but I've taken effectively taken a pay cut to do as much writing online as possible and making these videos and stuff for no immediate monetary reward, right? I do expect that eventually I'll be rewarded for it, but even if that never happens, I'm happy to do what I'm doing right now. And yeah, I feel like to some degree I'm liberated from a class of anxiety of trying to measure up to some system that I don't respect, if that makes sense. Let me know what you think. Done.